what I want to talk about is being able to be with sorrow. And then I want to do a video on how to work with, and how to come out of the sorrow. So I'm just going to keep being with it. I don't really need to talk about it. I feel your love and care. I see it in your face. And you're actually being perfect because I don't need to talk about it. The doom and the gloom. And I'm glad that you're not asking me. I love that you're just sitting there with love and kindness and openness. Um, that I'm sitting with a person in my sorrow and working with what I want to teach and help others with, is how in these times to be able to feel what's coming through. And as I just said, I can count on 3 fingers how many times I cry in a year, and I'm not proud about that. I'm just more of a feisty, fierce, strong person. And so in this time, in these times, what I know to be true with my whole being is that there's many gifts in this time as well. And as I have tears coming, that I could use softening. So I love about myself that I'm fierce and I'm feisty and strong, and have overcome and have pretty much come out the other side of sexual abuse and my own traumas in my childhood. So the gift of these times, even at 64 and doing, over 30 years of personal work, yes, there are still residual issues, still residual that's still here from my whole life. Yeah, smutsy little stuff, and sometimes bigger stuff where it's like, oh, wow, I thought I worked on grief, loss of my parents, this, as I said, the sexual abuse, the devastation of that, the violation, the betrayal, sadness about that, conflicted emotions. And what's happening now for me is it's not so much about content, even as I bring up some big topics that I have lived through in my life. I have distant memories of what happened to me, but it's more about the deeper experience. And this is what I want to bring in to help you folks with, is how to be with these times and not get pulled into the content, otherwise known as thoughts and thinking, because then our psychology, our history is going to attach to that. And then we're going to look for others to be complaining, and it picks up steam, and it's what's known as negative merging, where there's the appearance of connecting with people in this talking and complaining and and it is connecting in that moment. I'd be lying to say it's not, but it's similar to other addictions, where at what cost? You might get an immediate, oh, we're connecting, complaining, and them, and they're awful, and they're crazy, and that person, but really, you might notice afterwards, it's like, yeah, I don't feel better. I actually can kind of feel worse. It's kind of like reading People magazine, or those rags where you're in the grocery store and you see those headlines. It's like, oh yeah, their life is hell, and they're going down the toilet, and you get like, yay, yay, that royalty is, you know. And does that really ultimately make us feel better? Not really. I mean, see what's true for yourself. I'm never here to convince anybody of anything. I'm more here to see what resonates, put stuff out there for you, and what doesn't resonate, and that's fine. So taking a moment, and with this sorrow, right? So that was just a little bit of fun. The person I'm talking to, we just had a little giggle, and that was sweet. And it's similar to the yellow tulips behind me, where it's crucial in this time to find joy where we can. And that's why for $8.99, I got those tulips at Safeway. And if you don't feel like spending money, or you don't want to spend money, then find in nature a leaf that might call you, or a branch, or little berries, like those little berries. I found those on the ground after a rainstorm. Maybe a fern frond, or a little mossy, weird thing. maybe a rock, something that you find, maybe something in your household, maybe a cute little tchotchke that means something to you. Put it somewhere where you can see it. If it makes you smile, gives you a giggle. I work with somebody who's having a thing with Smurfs. They found a box of their old Smurf dolls. Yeah, we're having a little chuckle. We had the cutest little giggle working with something there. They're like, I came across my box of Smurfs and they just lit me up and and I said to myself, oh, I'm an adult. I can't take those Smurfs out of the box. Make a little scene with your little Smurfs. Play with your Smurfs. Put them on your work desk. Yeah. So, right as I share this with you, it's crucial in this time, going back to what I was saying about sorrow and the gift of sorrow. And for me, this feisty fighter whose heart, I have a huge heart. All I want to do is love. And I've got obstacles and I've got my fighters and my judge who's like, oh, they're a fucker and they're a shit and they're a right. It's like, I see all that and I'm really more interested in being kind. Not always. If somebody's not good for me, I don't like somebody, they don't feel good, I navigate away from them. And that's another crucial point here. Is we're talking about navigating our emotions, not managing them, not controlling them. And that's what I'm doing right now with you here in this time, is I'm navigating my sorrow, not controlling it. I'm not just letting it have its way with me. I'm bringing my awareness with my feet on the ground, my butt on the chair. I take moments along the way to let the thoughts and the thinking slow down and even stop, so I can come back to myself. You might even notice that if you take a moment with me right now, where we just take a breath, take or leave what I say, but see if you're open to taking a breath, a nice full one, gentle. You might notice there's kind of a cleansing, kind of a, ooh. Well, my friends, that's science. That's a fact. And that's what's possible with each breath, is a reset, a reset, a regroup, to let go of that past moment and come into this moment. And I look at those sweet tulips. I look at the person I'm talking to who I adore and feel their care and support. And that shifts things. So for those of us who are alone, unpartnered, right? Not all of us have partners and families and people around. I'm right now allowing myself to connect with this person I'm talking to. We've been working together for years. We have a really nice connection. So I'm taking in that person. I also go to the grocery store nearly every day, because there's always at least one sweet person, or at least one person who I have eye contact with, if not more. Usually there's a lot more. I did a double whammy yesterday. I went to my food co-op and I went to Safeway, and it was so sweet. It was rainy day. So sweet. I got the food that nourishes me, even in these times when we may be tightening our belts here in these times. I got the food that nourishes me. Had some sweet connections, even if it's just eye contact. And some people are available and some people aren't. And that's what I'm talking about, navigating. I definitely have a part who goes out and is like, do, 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 do. Smile at me, smile at me, smile at me. Hey, hey, hey. I definitely have that part. And I can even have that response if people aren't available of, you know, but how to navigate where I don't even know what's going on for that person. So to navigate, be like the wind or like a river where there's a rock. It's like, okay, sweetie pie, let's go around that person. and let's move on to the next person. Let's go where there might be more opportunities for joy. And so we can swim and navigate and have a sweet time. And in the meantime, looking at sweet things, maybe a kid with their mom or some sweet little thing happening in the world to get out of ourselves. So I want to share with you the gift of how we started, that I started actually crying, having tears and being in my sorrow. And in this moment, my heart aches, but I'm actually feeling a lot of love and compassion and sweetness and sorrow for the state of things in humanity and for all that's going on. And so that's what I really want to share with you, is you allow yourself. We learn how to navigate our emotions. For me, and that's what I wanted to be with you today with, is the sorrow that's available to actually soften us. Like the saying, the only way out is through. That is what we're seeing, friends. It's not me saying it. It's not woo-woo. At this point, we pretty much know it's fact. So it sounds so glib or cliche. The only way out is through. Well, I want to help you. I want to help you with the out. The only way out is through. So the through, our portal, our entry today was the sorrow, is the sorrow. And for those of us with a lot of sorrow, a lot of grief, a lot of trauma, my mantra is feel, baby, feel. And what that means, feel that ache in your heart. Feel the tightness in your throat and the tightness in your face and maybe the tension in your shoulders and the belly. Feel it and stay away from thinking. That's the practice. That's the work, and that's worth cultivating. And when you notice that thoughts take you, distract yourself. Go to the grocery store. Go for a walk. Give your pet a cuddle. Go look at your Smurfs. Call somebody you know will be there. Do not call a person who's 50-50. Yeah, they might. Don't call that person. Call somebody you know will be kind. Go somewhere where you know a kind person is, where you've built up enough time with this person. If they're the gas station attendant, I don't know, all these sweet people who are hidden in the wide open, just waiting to love and give love, just like you. Find them and stay with yourself. And remember, it can just be a smile. It can just, if you don't feel like smiling, it can be a gesture. It can be eye contact. But I highly urge you to stay away from the complaining and the negative talk, because it's just not helpful. It's not me saying, being overly, it's just, I'm telling you, friends, that negativity is just going to pull you down. So stay away from it. So I've got another video coming. I wish you all the best, and don't hesitate to reach out.